Hi guys, so today we've come down to Kent for the Kent Gathering, put on really nice by Craig Fordham from Black Wolf Survival and Bushcraft. They're cracking guys, really good. So they invited us down and a good crowd has turned up, so this video is just going to be snippets of the guys doing bits and bobs. At the moment they've just been out, it's been pouring down, they've been out and sourced materials. You can hear the spindles going. They've sourced materials to make a bow drill set and use it natural to see how good it works. A lot of people think you can't go out and just grab it and get an ember from it. A bit of work and stuff. I think we've got some guys doing really well over there, so I'll take you over and have a look. It's been a cracking couple of days, but I'll let the video do the talking and catch you all in a bit.
To make it worse, Dave Watson sat over my shoulder taking the mic. There you go. You don't need much, just something so it will catch. A certain book written by a recent survival celebrity when he brought his first book out. Have a look at the diagram of the bow drill, see if you can spot anything wrong with it. So that you've got a clear run. So this string, you've got nothing interfering with it. Okay? Head, this eye, comes straight down through the middle of the hand, through the middle of the spindle, so I'm over it. I see a lot of people sitting back like this, and what tends to happen then is you come up. So I'm over the top of it. My fingers are here to tension up the string if I need to. My thumb sits on top and I push that, and that helps me keep that level. Your first few strokes are just getting this moving. All I'm doing is getting it moving. Okay? Then what you want to try and do is try and use as much of the bow as you can. And the way I describe it to people is, imagine you're a snooker player lining up an important shot. So my head's over here, my glance is slightly upwards to keep an eye on the end of the bow, and all I'm doing is focusing on trying to keep it level. And the reality is, I don't need to go any faster than that at first. You'll feel it. The note will change. Just there. It's starting to bite in. You can feel it getting hot. There we are, we're smoking already. See, train yourself to talk as you're doing it, so you can relax. I'm not, hopefully, you know, not going too red in the face already. Don't put it down on the wet ground. Put it up, stab it in the ground, just anything like that. Chance to examine this. Look at the dust. If it's light brown, you're not getting enough pressure on it. If it's long and stringy, like fibrous, you're probably pushing too hard. So you want a nice fine dust, and it's a nice colour. You can even check it if you're making a set from scratch. Risky, okay? It's quite a savage tool. We love Laplanders. Learn to do it with a knife, okay? Worst case scenario, if you do learn to do it with a saw, you miss one of these little things, these little fine kind of Japanese saws. They work great, but realistically, the beauty of using your knife, let's be honest, most of us have got some sort of a standard form of... Yeah, of course. I mean, it was literally eight quid. Great for these. Realistically, I mean, it says me with a weird shape. Most of us have got a kind of fairly standardish designed Scandi blade. The tip of your average Scandi knife makes a perfect template. If you put it up to the middle like that, that's roughly what you want to cut away. Imagine taking out one segment from a Trivial Pursuit. Okay. That's a good guideline. Cut in like that. So I put it in a line and then I chip away the corners like this. When I'm using demos and things like that, I've usually got like a little patch of leather. Sometimes called an ember pan, sometimes it's called a spoon. We're not going to worry too much about blowing this into flame at this time being, but we're just going to go on because it's for people to work on their technique. Right, your string might have stretched, so you may need to possibly adjust it. Otherwise, Load her up. I can just see there that that's tilting downhill a little bit. So I'm going to adjust that to there. You want that as flat as possible. Morning guys. Load yourself up, get your instep back in. Your first couple of bows, because where you cut your notch, can often be a little bit shaky. So really try and focus on getting that all lined up. And just getting a bit of a wiggle going like that, just so it's in, okay? Just do a few of those and it's in. Then, start. Because you've already charred it, it's probably going to start smoking pretty quickly. And again, steady and slow there, look, it's smoking. Shuffle my knee a bit, but this is where I said, fill the notch with dust and set fire to it. If you go at this too hard, all you're going to do is burn that socket. A lot of people say to me, I'm getting lots of smoke, but I've not got an ember. Because you're going at, all you're doing is burning into your socket. So you want to go quite light, to just create a dust. Full length of the bow. I'm actually quite light and gentle here, but what it's doing is it's dropping dust into that socket. And I want to fill it up as much as I can. You can't have too big an ember.
I'm moving quite quickly on this.
Going away like that. Once you've got a decent sized bit, you can increase the speed to make it work a bit better. See, now you're applying a bit of heat to it. We're setting fire. I mean, to be honest, I'm already in. I'm just going to keep going for a few seconds anyway, but I'm in. Nice and steady. I never need to go faster than that. I mean, look, we're in. When you stop, lift it away gently. Okay? You've got time. A lot of people rush this bit. A couple of things you can do here. You can use the edge of your knife to scrape the rest of the dust in. Sometimes some people will give like the board a bit of a tap. But you really haven't got to rush. I mean, from there you really can. You've got all the time in the world to sort of take away like a good one. What have I?
So what I'm looking now is
Not the greatest tinder in the world, this stuff, but we'll give it a go. What I might do. This is, since it's been wet, I grabbed some of this. This is sort of a domestic bird bedding. My thumb's in the middle like that. So you want to make that sort of well. If we need to, I can give this a little waft. You never blow on it because it's quite fragile and you've got moisture in your breath. And you want to wait until you've got like a nice glowing lump, because what's actually happening is I found out recently the science of this. I don't know how well this tinder will work like this, but we'll give it a little bit of a go. Okay. You've still got time. If it's a slight breeze in the air, put your back to the wind. Let the wind do the work for you. Okay. I always say to people, when you watch those police camera action films and you see people doing like the breathalyzer, because obviously none of you guys have ever been breathalyzed. Long, so deep breath, and then you kind of like got a whistle into it. So it's like a. In between breaths, get it out of the way, otherwise you'll get a lungful. I haven't had a cigarette in 12 years, so it's kind of like, it's pretty horrible if you do get a lungful. You can even force air into it by kind of getting this going. Now, this is not great tinder at all, but it says right on cue. There we go. When it lights, turn it upside down so it spreads into it, and we're in business. But done right, you know, you really shouldn't have to break a sweat at all on this. I mean, I'm not the healthiest guy in the world at the moment. I've got a few pounds to lose, and for those of you who know, I had a heart attack fairly recently, so I can't overdo this. But you can really kind of chill it back and relax, so forth with it. So myself, Paul Kirtley, Dave Watson, Joe does a little bit here and there. I think he'd freely admit it's not his favoured. I love it.
I want to learn.
I definitely the most favoured one in the UK. You get these beautiful straight sun shoots. The trick with elders, what you need to do is if you find elder trees, what you often see, you'll see like a main branch like this, and you'll see these like shoots going straight off it, what we call sun shoots. And what you kind of do, you look for them just as they start to turn, and then add them, because they will dry out in an afternoon. Elder goes from sort of like greens, like crumble overnight. So you can literally snap these off, let them dry for an afternoon. What you're looking for, the ideal thing, apart from the diameter, is a very, very thick bark ring. So the secret to elder isn't actually anything to do with the pith at all. It's the thickness of this bark ring that kind of produces your ember. Some people, I know Paul, you guys have been on a course with Paul recently. Were you on the beginner or the... We'll see. We'll see how this goes. The first one of the day doesn't always go according to plan. Posture with hand drill. There are two, three different ways of sort of doing this. You can put this up on a stump and get above it, like this, on kneeling. You can sit down. Some people like the traditional way of kind of being like this. Although some people will really struggle getting the downforce like that. So it's really a case of sort of try it like this, try it kneeling, try it, you know, working, you know, with each other. You know, you can get like this stuff. You know, and put it on there, get someone to hold the board for you. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with you doing this. So you've got the downforce. Try different ones, see how well you get on. Thanks. Let's see if we can warm it up a little bit. So, I kind of try and get it spinning. There we go. So first, all I want to do is put this in. So I've kind of got a bit of what we call a float going. So the idea behind floating hands is that your hands aren't actually going to travel down the spindle, they're going to stay in one place. When I first read about it, people sort of said to me, the guy who kind of mentioned to me sort of said, do you remember that Incy spider thing you did as a kid? It's that. It's not. It's actually quite a subtle movement. All I'm really doing is from here, there's a slight pivot, it's probably that. See how my hands come up slightly, and as it comes in, it's that. So all I'm doing is that. So it's quite a subtle movement. It's not the strongest. Socket, let's get that in a little bit. There we go. I'm clamping it in, all I'm trying to do is just get a little bit of pressure. Just trying to burn it in and heat it up. I'm not rushing, so you don't want to burn yourself out with this. So all I'm doing is applying a little bit of pressure, just coming down, just to warm it up. Gets your hands warming up a little bit as well. There we go. So we are creating a little bit of dust, a little bit of heat, there's a little bit of smoke coming out there already. Okay. We're just trying to burn in a socket like we did with the boat drill. But again, I'm taking deep breaths, I'm relaxing, I'm not trying to burn myself out at all. Now at the moment, that's a bit brown, that's a bit brown. We're not nearly enough pressure in there. All I'm trying to do is just get myself a socket. For a little bit of extra tackiness, you can add a little bit of moisture, a bit of spit. One of the great resources we have got around here is the sap coming out of the spruce trees. That kind of spruce sap is like super glue. A bit of that on your hands and it really increases your tackiness and friction. Let's warm this up a little bit. So now we're getting a lot more pressure going, getting a lot more heat into it. So now we're heating it up. And I can see the dust changing, it's going much darker, much blacker. So now we're really burning it in. There we go. Look at the difference now. It's black. That's black. Same principle as before. Take out a notch, it's all relative. It's like 1/6 of it, like a smaller version of the Trivial Pursuit. Oh, pressure's on. Take this bit. Okay. Same thing again. We'll do a little bit of float to warm it up. So this doesn't wear my arm out too much and it starts getting a bit of heat going. What I might possibly need is a volunteer to maybe kind of hold that to stop it moving. Someone. Just make life a little bit easier. Just lean over and put your hand on it or something. Yeah, maybe not the foot, just the hand. Okay, let's give her a go. So there's a bit of float, and if I do that well enough, I should be able to float it enough so it actually starts smoking. Are we smoking?
Not yet.
No? How about now?
Nearly.
Okay, one more thing we can do. We'll tag team it, see if that's causing a difference. So, who's fairly fit and strong? Come on, David. Nice technique, that's lovely. Ready? Here we go, this is more like it. We're in. Look at the difference. There we go. Hey, cheers, buddy. There we go. We're in. What you'll notice with the this is it pops up a lot quicker. See how quick that's? But it's a very, it's a fragile ember, but it's a very hot ember. So your tinder bundle has got to be perfect. So what I would suggest with this one is I've got another couple of spinners, I've got another couple of balls. For those of you who want to try this one, do feel free to have a go solo, or David could probably crack it out. It's a great technique.
So all we're looking to do now is just remove more of that scratch pattern, and it's beginning to look polished. Still that flat spot still there, just about a finger's width worth there, I think, is not quite as sharp as I would like.
It gives me something.
It gives you something to play with later, and you know you can do the flat bit because that was already sharp. So now this side I'm going to work from the tip of the blade up to the hilt of the blade. Again, the trick is once I touch the apex of the blade, I want to create a slight burr that will flick over to the other side, and then flick over and do the other side. I'm not going to do the whole thing on this edge because this is not at the cutting edge, and work your way up to it. Again, small circles, especially with axes, small circles and work your way up to the cutting edge.
So it's going to go bow,
arrow,
arrow.
that bit facing up.
Keep it on a little bit, there we go. Pull it back a little bit further if you can, a little bit further, and then let go.
Everyone having a great time learning new skills or enhancing on their existing skills.
Down the middle, although it's not always the middle, you need to split it through the centre of the growth rings. So in this case, the centre is just slightly off to the side here. If you're using an axe to split wood, in the method that I'm showing you here, hold the axe at 90 degrees to yourself. You don't want it facing this way, because if it falls and goes through here, it can swing into myself. So you hold it side on. That way, if the axe falls and swings anywhere, it's going to swing into this clear area beside me. So just a couple of taps to start with. I'm just trying to set it in. I'm not trying to pound it straight through to start with, and then pop it in. And you can see that once it goes, it just pulls straight through. This is why we don't hold it this way. Hold it sideways on. If it does swing through, it will go into nowhere, into the void.
Whenever you say it, well.
This is correct, which is learn. Okay? And what it is basically all the stars.
Yeah, when I did just with the kettle,
All the stars in the sky move apart from Polaris. So one of the things that you can do, you can track where you are.
Whose woodlands is Craig?
Sorry?
Whose woodlands is it?
It's the guy who actually owns woodlands.co.uk amongst other businesses. Very, very wealthy, successful man. He's very nice. Very nice man. Oh, so there's another.
Let's have a look at that now, mate. I think you got something. Waft it. Look at that.
Because you're forestal people that are learning.
Aren't it? Yeah. And well there, mate. You still got that piece that I give you? Or is she throwing it out?
Probably not now.
I'll get you some more.
After we moved.
It's going well now.
Right, isn't it?
Now do it from sort of the bollocks and go up towards the ribs. I like to go from the other way around, and the reason I go the other way around is I'm not sending the sharpest part of my knife directly into the bone and blunting it now. So what I do is just with your thumb, you'll feel down to it, and you'll feel like the bottom part of the rib cage. You know, like sort of just underneath your solar plexus. Feel down from there. Give it a little bit of a pinch. Because it's a squirrel, it's an absolute pig. Mind your fingers, just cut into it a little ways. The trouble with squirrels, like I say, they've got they're really tough little bastards. So your knife must be sharp. See, I've just got that little pinch on there. And put your knife in there. Keep the skin. Try and keep the skin lifted up with the tip of your knife, so your knife, the edge of your knife, is right against the inside of the skin. Because if you go in too deep and you sort of push right into it, you'll end up going into the guts, and then you'll just get all the shit from the guts. So just get all around and filth up the meat. So come inside, just get inside your tip and just cut straight down. Keep working your knife all the way down. Keep the tip as close to the meat as possible. Come all the way down. You basically want to make this split as big as you can get. See how I've got that right there? See, that's right at the tip of the ribs. If you can go in a little bit closer, do so. Just go gently with your knife. So once you get up to that bone, you can see your closer there. Then what you need to do is get your fingers in there. Now, if you come in and look closely here, see this bit of purpley coloured flat meat there? That's your liver. So you get your fingers in between there, and you'll see there's the stomach, which is directly below the liver. See this bit? This is the stomach. This purple chunk here is the liver. Same as when you have like your liver and onion. Just pull on that and yank it out. There you go. These two bits of purple meat here are the kidneys, so you can keep them if you want. They make quite good eating. But the rest of it, just pull it out and put it to one side. Right, now once you've got that, see here, you can see between the skin there and the meat, just try and cut down with your knife a little bit. The problem we've got is this squirrel got shot this morning, so it's going to be a little bit of a pig to separate it initially. So sometimes you can get in with your fingers and just pull in between. Sometimes you've got to use your knife to get in. If you do rabbits, they're loads easier, absolutely loads easier. You need your girlfriend's jumper at that first date. See, now we've peeled it right down. Now, I'm not bothering with the meat above here because the geezer who shot this, gave it a heart shot. You'll see that there's probably going to be a little bit, yeah, see in here, as I pull this up, one, you can see just how little meat there is around the back here, but also because he gave it a chest shot, see how the meat's all damaged around there, all the meat's all bruised up in the back? You don't want to be eating that because it's lost all its flavour, basically. So what we do here, first off, do a couple of slits to cut through its nudger, turn it over on its back, and cut into the back here, because we're going to be removing the tail and the legs from the legs. So get the knife so it's as tight up against the side of the tail and the vertebrae as possible. Just follow that there. Turn it around the other side, same again. You'll feel along the vertebrae until you pretty much come to the muscle, the bone of the knife there, the bone of the leg there. See that? Just in there, yeah? You can just about make it out. You don't want to be pushing your knife through it because you'll blunt your knife. Unless you've got like a big old Bushcraft style knife, but because mine was quite a little diddy one. Scandi grind knives are great. Same here, come right in, tight up against the vertebrae, right tight around the leg again, and just pop it round. And we'll move in. Knife can go right down to the ankle there. Just whack that straight through. Let's cut that off. Cut that off. Got 2 legs ready. What I tend to do next, you can add the kidneys if you want, but generally speaking I give them to my dog. Right. Personally, I just cut off the tail at the bottom here, because there's not a lot of meat here. It's really worth worrying about. But the saddle's worth keeping, which is, you see all along here, all these cuts, right up to sort of about just underneath where the floating ribs are. Sure it's not. So using your knife, come in and see where the liver is. You can come up higher than that if you want, but you'll see just underneath there's a membrane, and then you've got lungs, heart, and sort of all the other offal out of it. If you're in a survival situation and you want to use it for trapping other stuff, you can do so. I mean, it's full of nutrients, so you can put that into a soup or a stew if you want to. I mean, it can make good eating, but again, sort of in everyday situations, that's the dog's goodies for coming out hunting with me normally. So what I do is just cut up above from its floating ribs. Same on this side. And you pretty much got all the saddle all the way up to the vertebrae. Come right up tight around there, same as you do with the legs. Cut up close to the bone, but try not to grate your knife against the bone. And you see there how I've got the full saddles, pretty much. And it's nice, 2 nice big cuts of meat, and nicer big cuts of meat. Cut that off, get rid of it. Get your morer, and you're going to go through the vertebrae this time, so just give it a whack. And that is your cuts of meat from your squirrel. You can, if you want, cut down and across from here. I normally, if I'm going to be stewing a squirrel, you can cut straight down alongside, and get that saddle out as best as you can. But to be honest, you're better off cooking the whole lot up and then just picking the bones out of it as and when you're taking it out of your stew.
It's those huge heart-shaped leaves. But again, I'm going with sort of like a medium hardwood into a soft base. Physics tell me that will work really well. So hard into soft will work, hard into hard will work, but yeah, I know I like experimenting with ones that people say won't work. Soft into soft will work, so lime into lime will work, sycamore into sycamore will work, willow into willow will work. But if you try to do sort of like willow drill into a hazel base, possible, yes. And there was kind of 2 sources. I mean, it doesn't really get mentioned much. It gets a very brief mention in Lofty's book. There's like a picture, and that's about it, isn't it? And it says you can do this, but I'm not entirely sure if Lofty's even ever tried bow drill. It really doesn't appeal to him.
Yeah, I mean these, I love them. The teaching knives I've got for the carving and morars, they're absolutely fantastic. So,
Right. Well done, guys. Spot on. 2 embers from damp.
When they go, but yeah, so what we're having to do is basically just keep
Constant,
going and
keep
just
going.
keep getting the heat and I had to actually back off my pressure and just lighten
Get the
up,
rhythm.
and just keep going and keep going.
Yeah, worked well.
But they're in.
Chris, having any more? It's hard for you, mate. Bit more knackering. Pays off, yeah. Perseverance. The guys are still going. We've got a lighter. We could have used that. Okay. Steady.
Once it's glowing, you can just get wafted into there.
How do we make the dents? Like the...
So, I would say
go.
that you
Nearly
want to
there,
be
mate.
kind of probably around
Little
here.
bit
So
more
what
of a
you
blow
want to do
there,
with
I
your
think.
spindle, which is monster spindle. Wow. So, You want it probably about
They
there.
are
That's what you
smokers
do,
on
mark
that,
that hole with
yeah.
a knife, and then kind of make like a divot. Hey! Woo, woo. Bow drill off the land.
Never give up, do we?
There
There
we
you go.
There we go. Oh, don't Joe's very much. Yeah. This material though, it's bird bedding, so it's
right.
whilst it's got sisal and jute in it, which is fantastic, it's also got cotton, which is
Not so.
in its
yeah.
uncharred form not as good. It was just an emergency supply thing I picked up for a big school job. I thought that's light, it's dry, it'll burn. Usually we, if we haven't got natural resources, we just local farm, we buy hay bale,
Yeah, works, isn't it?
£4 and
Job's a good one.
Tripod, but there's no fire in it until you light it. So it's a big tripod with all the dry stuff inside, which hopefully will ignite when you light it. Swedes have a slightly different outlook in that they use an already established fire. So this would be their brew fire that they can sit round and have a fire watch so that somebody is looking out for aircraft the whole time. We position this one so it's in a slight clearing in the forest, which is where you do it. You try not to do it in the thick vegetation. And the other alteration we made with this one over the Swedish one is Mors Kahansky, when he does one, he elevates the signal fire on like a stretcher and then pre-lays the fire underneath, lights that fire. So what we've done with this one is we've put a log on that side, a couple of rocks on this side, so that when we put this on, it's not sitting directly on the fire. So the heat from that will catch the light material that's in underneath there. As that starts to burn, it can draw the oxygen in from the sides way more efficiently than if we're just dropping this straight from the top. Hopefully, it will work. It can be dragged. I've done it on my own. Which one do you want to go? This side of it? Yes. That there? Okay, it takes a little bit of time to get going, but it's a lot quicker than if you're trying to light one on a tripod. Yeah, it certainly will.
Okay. A few bods here, stop the wind.
here you go, come on.
Here we go.
You should get enough heat for it to push it up. Come on, heat.
Go on, Nick.
Very effective.
Get a little something to hit it with. Pop that out, and I've managed to keep that bowl perfectly safe. So for beginners, that's my go-to. Bring the axe up to here and they try carving in. The easiest way to do it is bring the axe well far behind and come into that line. It then means that you can, once you're there, you can then start leaning the piece of wood. Do drop cuts now and again. Bowl, they kind of start with the bowl this kind of thick. We only really want it this thick. If it's any thicker, it's going to be uncomfortable to fit in your mouth. You're not going to want to eat with it. About 2/3 of the way up the piece of wood, because my fingers are there, and I've lost enough of them already.
Have you? How'd you do that? Don't ask.
Circular saw.
Oh, circulars. Oh, sorry, yeah, you'd be on the floor. But you cried.
Come in at a bit of an angle and then gradually take that angle away, and the axe then wants to kind of carry itself out. That gives you a dish of the top of your bowl.
Yeah, it's good.
Then from the back I can come in,